Welcome to the Dr. Nikki Starr Show, a podcast to support you in your spiritual awakening and personal development. As a spiritual teacher, healer, and intuitive coach, my intention is to empower you to live your ultimate potential and your ultimate life. As a former medical doctor and mystic, my role is to bridge the gap between science and spirituality to support you in understanding more of your multidimensional aspects. I share on a diverse range of topics, and it's all to support your greatest becoming. My mission is to continue reaching millions of people for the healing and awakening of humankind for the creation of the new earth. Thank you for being here. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Dr. Nikki Starr Show. I'm your host, Dr. Nikki Starr, and today we're going to be talking about protecting your peace and why that's so important for your next level becoming, especially if you're an entrepreneur, especially if you have a big mission in the world, you're a light worker, you're here to reach millions of people for the healing and awakening of humankind, or even if you just have goals and things you want to realize in life. Protecting your peace is one of the most important things. Because when we think of what the opposite of peace is, it's conflict, it's drama. All of these things suck your energy. And then if that's happening, you have less energy to put towards the goals and the things you're creating, right? And so it's usually, I have found, there's like this quote that a lot of entrepreneurs say or use, or it's like kind of like this metaphor, or how do I even say it? It's kind of like this way of seeing life. When you're busy and you have, and I don't even mean by busy like you have a lot of things you need to do. It's like when you have a mission and a purpose and a goal and you know what that is, you do not have time for drama and people in your life that are going to try to hook you into and cord you into things that are not making the world a better place, things that do not matter. And when you have a big goal that wakes you up out of bed every single day, you are not thinking about like all of these drama things. So usually people who are creating drama in their life, they don't have a goal that's so big that moves them. And so we do have to have compassion, right? Because if we're someone who is like, I have my eye on the prize, like, I don't have time for this, right? But if someone wants to go into the nitty gritty of trauma, or I don't know, like finding things to talk about, argue about, or be mad about, like, it's like, sometimes I'm like speechless, or I'm just like, what? And so when you have too much time on your hands, you're more likely to get involved with drama in your life. It's kind of like what, I don't know if it's like the Bible that says this, or Christians or Catholic, but it's almost like this knowing in that world of like idle hands are susceptible to the devil, right? So like if you have too much time on your hands, you're going to get yourself involved in probably conflict and drama and all kinds of things. So to protect your peace, you really have to have a strong boundary. And more, it's like not allow yourself to be available for people who want to cause drama and stir things up. So what this means is you do not get yourself involved in any form of gossiping. Talking about other people is actually a huge waste of time and energy, and it's a form of black magic that you will oftentimes receive rebound curses from. So do not even waste your time talking about other people. Oh my gosh, can you believe what they did? Can you believe what? No, none of that. Especially like if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. I actually recently had an encounter with a friend's friend, and this person did some things that I would consider shady that would go against my moral values. And an older version of myself
would have been like, I'm going to say something. I'm going to share how what that person did is not very good and is not very ethical and is against these values. And then I said, you know what? I'm not going to do any of that. When my friend asks me, how did the meeting go? What I'm going to say is no comment. I do not have time to involve myself in dramas. And then even when the person reached out to me and I didn't respond because I had nothing to say, but then there was a logistical message I had to respond to. And I responded to the logistical messages because there was something to say. Then the person, because clearly they're aware of their behaviors and their way of acting and what they were saying and what they were doing, they said like, oh, I'm so relieved you respond because I thought that you wouldn't speak to me after all those things. And then I just didn't respond to that. It's not because I'm ghosting, but it's because silence is a boundary too. If I don't want to entangle my energies into a drama or a person who creates drama, there's no point in speaking. So, for example, when my friend asked, I at first said nothing, but then I couldn't avoid it much longer because then I received a phone call. And then when I was asked, I said, listen, I have no comments. All I will say is everyone is on their path. And that's it. There's nothing to argue about. There's nothing to debate about. There's nothing to explain. We don't have to get into all these explanations. Done. Do you know how much energy I save from not having to go into conversations with the person's friend, all of this? I'm not getting involved in that. In the past, when I have tried to school people, what it did was it involved me in melodramas for years with that person. Any person now at this point. Clearly, if I feel that there is something dramatic or unharmonious about a person or relationship, why do I want to continue to give energy to that? I don't. An older version of myself that had not done her shadow work and did not heal certain aspects within herself, she still was an energetic match and available for that. But as you are doing your healing work and you are evolving and you are expanding, and when you really do your healing work and you really do your shadow work and you really heal your karma, you are not available for drama anymore. And the most important priority becomes peace, because any form of conflict and drama is destabilizing to our energy fields. So it is better to keep the peace, which means no more trying to be right. Okay, that's your opinion. Okay. Now, there may be points where you have to say, like, okay, words are being put into my mouth that I didn't say, and you might feel a need to defend yourself. But even then, too, maybe sometimes it is better to just be like, whatever you think. Conflict takes two. It takes two to tango. You can choose not to participate. And when you choose not to participate, you save yourself so much energy. And the truth is, if you were busy with a mission and a purpose that was so big that it pulled you out of bed, and like you just couldn't help but get out of bed every single day, and you had things that you were focused on and creating, you literally wouldn't even have time to think about drama or who's doing what or who's not doing what. Other people's business doesn't really interest you. It's like a selfless path when you have a big mission to make the world a better place. It's a beautiful path and one I highly recommend. And honestly, it's what's necessary. For you to live your ultimate life, you want to have a dream, a mission, a goal so big that you hope and trust and pray that you will fulfill it in this lifetime. And it's so big that it knows no end. And when you are living your ultimate potential, your creative fire is so strong, you have no time for drama. And more, it gets less and less attractive. Protecting your peace is so important for your creation energy, because you can give your energy to conflict or you can give it to creation. And what do you want to give it to? You want to give it to creation. The only time where you might have to, I don't want to say like not protect your peace, but where you may need to process things is if you're actually in a relationship, whether you're in a work relationship with someone or a contracted relationship with someone, maybe someone's your client or they're your client or you're their client, you're in a marriage, you're in a committed relationship. With family, it can go either way, depending on how often you see them. But you want to pick and choose your battles to protect your peace. And so often, like I've had so many clients who come to me with challenges in family dynamics, and every family has them. Like no family is immune to them. And more often than not, the energy strategy tools that I teach about staying in compassion and neutrality, because of course I could say be compassionate or stay neutral, because when you are compassionate and neutral, you can't entangle in the energies. It's like different radio waves, completely different radio waves. So to protect your peace, the more you can stay, so that's heart chakra energy, compassion and neutrality. The more you can stay there, which is also forgiveness energy, the more you can stay in this frequency, the less, because when someone's trying to pick a fight with you, they're wanting to entangle energies. And sometimes they win because they might say something outrageous that like just sets you off. If you could not let that stuff touch you, you win. You win because you protect your peace, you keep your energy, and it just slides off, whether it's an insult or a comment. Because the moment someone does that to you, it's like your permission slip to be like, okay, a boundary was just crossed. I wish you well. I'm going to step away from this conversation now because I need to protect my energy. And you don't even need to explain beyond that. And you don't even need to try to make someone wrong. And oftentimes it's energies, entities, karmas that are running in someone's field that makes them a person that tends to have a lot of conflict around them. So this is why the energy strategy work is so important. Purification is so important. Clearing your energy field of psychic parasites, astral parasites, entities, all kinds of karmas that predispose you to conflict. Because oftentimes when we have conflict with someone, it's because we have karma with them. So the more you do your healing work, your personal development work, your spiritual work, to stay ahead and proactive, like you don't just heal and do personal development work when something's wrong, because then it's like you're always in a deficit and you're just kind of trying to get back to baseline. It's a part of your life. And I know that it is if you're listening to this, obviously. So people who really live extraordinary lives are committed to personal development, healing, spirituality, because you are continuously expanding to a new level. You're clearing out whatever blocks, obstacles, sabotages, things that keep you at a lower vibration, conflict, drama. You clear that from your life. But first you have to clear it from within yourself, which is why your shadow work is so important. And so a few episodes ago, I talked about like my 40 Days of Kali program. That's a powerful way to clear out anything that is not in alignment with your highest timeline. Clear that stuff out. 44 Days of Compassion. There's also the Ascension Code Compassion, the Ascension Code Forgiveness, the Ascension Code Love. All of these are like how to be love, how to be compassionate. Because even though you know what it means, so does everyone in the whole world. So why don't we always operate in that way? Because unfortunately, we're not always in control of ourselves. Sovereignty. Sovereignty is when you actually rule over yourself. Most people are not. They're acting from reactivity, patterns. Reactivity meaning based on what someone else does or says, then you respond. No, it's you go first. You're the leader. We're here as leaders and co-creators of the new paradigm. We are the leading frequency. We are so powerful that we literally can transform the people around us. If someone's coming at us with conflict, drama, we can disarm them based on the way we show up. So the more we're in neutrality, the more we're in compassion. And so even recently, a client was telling me how her mother was gossiping, her brother was gossiping. She was at the hospital and they're all talking negatively about the helpers, the people, the hired help, and she just was not getting involved. Her mother wanted to sit there and tell her all the negative things about this person. And she has seen those things before, but she has chosen to focus on what the good aspects of the person in gossip was, what they were talking about. And so where is your superpower with that? Now, that doesn't mean we need to have people in our lives that are not in alignment and then just have these relationships because we feel bad or we don't have to employ people that we don't feel alignment with. None of that. And at the same time, we want to show up in our highest light. We don't want to have to drag out drama. We don't want to contribute to gossip. That's all low vibrational way of being that has been allowed for so long. There's literally gossip magazines and gossip columns. And when you look on social media, there's literally accounts dedicated to talking about people's lives. And a lot of times those media outlets make things up about people. What a waste of time. But guess what? Those things have millions and millions of views because humans, the virus, it's not the beauty of humanity. It's the virus of humanity that can get addicted to that. And it's so sad to witness. So sad. What a waste of time and energy, and how terrible that we want to spend our time talking about people, especially in a negative way. This is all drama. This is all gossip. This is all things that just lower your frequency, waste your time. You have so many gifts and talents. You have 24 hours in a day. Yes, we can learn to bend time, but you don't want to waste it doing that. You want to give all of your precious resource to your creations, your legacy, the people you love. You want to focus on the good. And that's why I'm a big believer. So in terms of protecting our peace, I give my energy to what I'm creating. I don't fight against what I don't like. So this goes for politics, right? Do you know that all of that circus is a distraction? All of that is like them wanting to distract people from what's actually going on in the world. The news is a big circus. It's not even the real news. So the news does not bring peace. The news is created to bring fear. It's a fear-mongering tool to keep people in low vibration. Because the moment you connect with your highest self to source, when you're feeling expanded and in a place of love and connection, that's when you innovate. That's when you problem solve. That's when you think of expansion. That's when you're like, what do I really want? When you are clouded by fear, the powers that be keep you where you are, small. My work is about you being as big as you're here to be. All of you fully online, fully activated. So cutting out even mindless scrolling, that's not peace. Like I've had a few times where literally, I don't know how things got on my feed. Like they were so out of context. I think sometimes it does feed you like a random thing to see how you respond to it because it's always wanting to update the algorithm. I literally saw things and I was like, ugh. And also, I'm very sensitive to energy though. So protecting your peace also requires you not to mindlessly scroll, because even like I wasn't even mindlessly scrolling. It was like I was just on the page for like a second, like going to post. Maybe I went up twice or something, and it was like, and so because I am in tune to people's energy just by seeing a picture, I read energy. So protect your peace by what you're watching, what's going to expand you. So you protect your peace by what you consume. You protect your peace by the relationships you keep. Your romantic partner, well, if you're already in a relationship, there might not be much you can do. I'm just kidding. You're going to want to process out the things that are challenging to find your way back to peace, and then commit to choosing peace above being right. Commit to choosing peace above gossiping or giving your energy to other things that don't serve both of the love frequency and the expansion as a couple or just in general. Also, you're going to want to, for new relationships, whether it's a new friendship or a new romance, you're going to want to choose someone that helps you to protect your peace and brings peace into your life, not who brings drama. And then in the friendship space, sometimes relationships can last a season, a lesson, or a lifetime. If someone is bringing an extraordinary amount of drama or challenge into your life and field, that might be someone that is not fully in alignment to be friends with, and that's okay. Again, you don't have to call them and say, hey, I don't think we're meant to be friends anymore. You could just maybe take a step back and just see, because maybe they'll evolve and they'll do their work, right? We are so powerful that we polarize people. So the more you enforce your boundaries around protecting your peace, people will rise to meet you there because they know that you are not available. So what that means is in real time, if someone starts to gossip to you, you change the conversation. And if they keep wanting to go back to that, then you have to enforce a boundary and say, you know what? I don't want to spend my time talking about other people. I really want to talk about what's lighting us up, the beautiful things happening in our life, what we're creating, what we're excited about. And if you do need to process something, do it in a sacred space. So if there is a dramatic situation, something that's challenging you, then you have a healing session, you work with a coach, you work with a mentor, you work with an energy worker, an energy strategist like myself, and it's constructive. Okay, this is what happens in your life. Okay, these are the tools. This is where you're going to put your consciousness. This is how you're going to ground into the earth. This is where you're going to put your consciousness in your body. These are the energy things you're going to emit into your field, etc. So inside the bonus content, I want to share with you a beautiful practice that puts you in that space of peace, love, and neutrality. It's quite quick. It's a meditation that you could start your day with. It's not even like a full-on meditation, but it's like a 5-minute practice that will really allow you to protect your peace by embodying peace and being peace. And then, of course, in my mentorship work, my work is not just coaching. It's actually not really coaching. It's more intuitive guidance and energy work, healing work. And when I say energy strategy, it's literally changing your frequency so that you could decide what you want to be, what you want to radiate out in the world. So then it affects all the situations that come to you or helps you to collapse time to realize your goals. So if you are challenged in relationships, one of the most powerful things to do is energy strategy work. There's nothing you have to talk about. Do we do communication work? Yes, of course. Like I do love to work with enhanced communication in my work as well. But what moves the needle always is the energy strategy work. So I definitely invite you inside. I also have my ultimate relationship course. There's also the ultimate energy courses, which are also ways I share some of the energy strategy work with you as well. And then, of course, if you ever want to dive deeper, if there's particular situations, then you can always do 1 month with me. That's the minimum. I do have the intro session, of course, to see if you like the vibe and it's resonating with you, and then you can do a month with me. And generally that helps to work on one particular goal that you have, or you can do 3 months, 6, or a year. And it's beautiful to see how the needle moves. And clients that work with me, they receive so much energy because part of the work we do is about you protecting your peace, you having your eye on the prize, you creating those boundaries so that you can give that energy to creation, to create beautiful relationships, a beautiful business, to create the goals you want to realize in your life. And that's also how you stay healthy and thriving. Protecting your peace is how you stay healthy and thriving, because emotions can get trapped. Most people don't know how to express their emotions well. And so when emotion gets trapped in your body, that is the perfect breeding ground for disease. So protecting your peace keeps you really healthy too. And think about that. Like, we know, like, when you're stressed out and you're emotional, you have all these lines and wrinkles on your face. So even from like a vanity standpoint, you look younger, radiant, more beautiful when you're in peace, because you are meant to be in peace. You are not meant to suffer. You are not meant to be in conflict. And so I invite you to protect your peace with me, connect with me about working together, or sign up for any of the codes or courses. And I will see you inside the bonus content for a powerful meditation to support you in protecting your peace. Big kiss to you, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Dr. Nikki Starr Show. Please like this podcast and share it with anyone you feel would benefit. Subscribe to the podcast to receive bonus content, and remember, every Monday the video version goes live on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for being on the Ascension path with me and for doing this great work.